This is part 3 where I explained all the contents of the video. So when you unzip the file, you get a 30x package file in which you get the installation folder. And once you open the installation folder, you have a batch file that checks for dependencies, checks the file path, and that also checks for PySide, that also checks for Python, that checks for MyAppy, and that also checks if all parts are set up right. You have the install bat file for Mac and Linux and Windows, and you have the uninstall bat. The SRC folder contains the following: the doc that loads up when you initialize the plugin, as stated in video 1 and 2, the thumbnails for the shelf that can be edited. Bear in mind, they have to have the exact same name. They have to make sure that they're low in size. They do not go above 3 KB, above 3 KB, or let's say 4 KB. And then comes the tools. So all of these tools were GeoMaster, Logger, Nomenclator, Rivention, Substance Loader, Thumbtack, and Umbra. GeoMaster and Logger work together. So in the Python shelf, in the Python command center in Maya console, you can drag and drop it into this and just run it. It will work. But as a plugin, it's quite convenient. If it were to show up in a default Maya installation path, you can click it and use it. So there's two ways. One, to make it work via the standard method in a standard path. Second, to drag and drop and test them individually if you feel like you do not want your PC to accommodate this plugin. Third is the license file, Apache 2.0. You may read the terms and conditions, and the README file as a markdown and the README file as a PDF for your convenience. That will be all. Thank you. And now I'll be demonstrating how it works in the Maya UI and how it works as a shell. So once you open up Maya file, you get 830next, you go to Windows, you go to settings and preferences, you go to plugin manager, and you have that 830next plugin py Python loaded, auto load. There's also something that this plugin does, which is I've noticed that it makes load times faster, which is not something to brag about, but something serious that it does load 3 to 4 times faster. And if you were to disable this, and restart Maya, it would just go away. It wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be a problem. You do not need to uninstall it. But GM stands for GeoMaster, right there. NC stands for nomenclator, right there. And this is Thumbtack, right there, the where you can set the pivot tools. And Prevention is autosave, where you get to save the files. I would very much like to invite people to help me find a way to delete every fourth previous file that we do not need. Imagine this: if you're creating auto-saving files every 10 to 15 minutes and you do not want the fourth file, you're not making huge changes in 10 to 15 minutes. So every fourth file, we do not need it. So you just have 4 files, right? The names aren't a problem. You can rename them. But the fourth file, we do not need it. But this is time-based, not my autosave based. It is time-based and it has a suffix and it has intervals. So it's different. And it works with Git. And if you were to use Git with if you were to use Git with, let's say, source tree, then you have an UI, you have a UI, you have a local Git. You don't have to go to GitHub, and you are quite familiar with how the plugin works. You have a visual view, and then you can use tunneling. We do not need Helix Core, nor do we need any heavy software, nor paid solutions to make things work. Substance Loader, like I stated, plugin, and Umbra will be the final touch to making the file load faster, where it just goes, have it this way. If you make the file go faster and you set it to bounding box and frame it, it loads faster. Maya loads faster. Because I think the way I was taught is that there isn't much cache data. So that's pretty much it for this video. This would be the fourth part of the video, and thank you so much.